Hello everyone, welcome back to Kirklees Guitar School. In today's guitar lesson, we're going to have a look at Losing My Religion by R.E.M. Now this is a multi-skilled lesson with the supporting documents for both. If you're a strummer, we're going to have a look at the chords to begin with and just learn to strum through it. If you're interested in the lead parts, I've also done a tab transcription of it which you can download from the first link in the description completely for free. Everything's included in the document, and the playthrough on the Academy will show you sort of the best of both worlds. So if I was to play this as the only guitarist on a gig, that's how I'd do it. So before we get into any notes, let's have a look at the chords that we're going to play. So we've got A minor, F major 7, E minor, G, and D minor. All these chords are listed, by the way, on the in the free downloadable PDF. You don't have to sign up for anything. There's no BS. You just literally click on the link, click download PDF, and it's all there for you to use, okay? It's all on one big document, by the way. Now, I've chosen to use F major 7. In fact, I'll pop this on screen while I'm waffling. I've chosen to use F major 7 in place of the regular F bar chord because the melody has a lot of these E notes. There's a full playthrough of this up on the Academy, by the way. If you want to see exactly how I'd play it in a gig scenario, I'll put a link to that in the description when it's available. So we're going to use F major 7 rather than the F bar chord. It's a mandolin on the record that's doing a lot of that sort of fun stuff, and I've just tried to make it fit the guitar the best that I can. So we're going to play the vast majority of this with a down, down, up, up, down strumming pattern. So fretting the F major 7, let's all have a go at that. Down, down, up, up, down. Down, down, up, up, down. Now it says lead intro. When we get to the lead guitar bits later on, you'll hear this little lick. That comes as what we call a lead in before the chords. But if we're playing rhythm, we're gonna let the professionals do that, and we'll come in on that F major 7. So I'm going to play that for a bar. Now you're going to play this pattern in every bar except where there's two chords in a bar, or I tell you to do it otherwise later on in the bridge, okay? So you're going to play down, down, up here. You're going to play it here, and you're going to play it here because that's one chord per bar. Whenever there's two chords, and in this song it's only F major 7 to G, we're going to do two downstrokes before changing to the next one. Let me play these two fellas. And then back to the strumming pattern. The second part of that, I'll just pop down there. Can you see how the top bit's still the same? We'll just pop the bit on the bottom now. It's more or less identical, apart from there's a G at the very end. I'm looking at the bottom right, where you'll hear the guitar or the mandolin go. Which again, when we get to the lead bits, we'll talk about that. Right, let me play all of this. Bearing in mind, we're not doing the da-da-da-da-da for the rhythm parts. Starting here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line, downstrokes, back to the strumming pattern. And when you hit that G, you'll hear the singer. Sorry, I forget his name. Let me know in the comments what the singer for R.E.M's called. Go, oh, life. He sort of sings a note over that G chord before we get into the verse. So make sure that's under your fingers for me before we go any further. This also doubles up as the chorus. The sort of intro is very, very, very similar to the chorus. So get that under your fingers. If you're feeling fairly confident, we're going to go into the verse. Now the verse is very straightforward, almost so straightforward that it lulls you into a false sense of security. Let me show you what I mean. So we're going to keep the down, down, up, strumming pattern for 2 bars of A minor, 2 bars of E minor. Now, if I just kind of read ahead ever so slightly, We're going to play that line 3 times. Let's have a look over here. Right, here's the full verse that we're looking at. So you can see that we do the A minor to E minor figure 3 times, and then we go to a D minor and a G. Now, it's quite easy for you to get sort of stuck in this and forget how many times you've played it. Keep your eye on the chart. Watch it like a hawk so you don't miss it. So you're going to do 3 lots of A minor to E minor. We'll come back here in a second. But then we're going to finish it going to D minor to G. For 2 bars each. And you'll hear the mandolin do loads of little licks around this. And the idea is this is the foundation that we'll put the lead guitar on when we get there. So the full verse, again, looks like this. Now, can you see the funny looking brackets at the top where it says verse, top left? And then once again, when we run out of runway, bottom right. So that means every verse in this song has got repeat markers. Now, with repeat markers, the funny looking brackets, and those brackets, whenever you see them, you always assume that you play that twice unless you're told otherwise. We are going to be told to play a certain section 3 times later on, and the chart will let us know. So pause the video for me and have a good go at that for me. There's nothing too much to write home about. I'm more worried about you getting lost than anything else. And all of that, just to be clear, is the down, down, up, down strumming pattern. So far, we've got the intro and the verse, which looks like that. So then looking at the chorus part then, it's very similar to the intro. You see how the 2 chords in a bar come again, so your downstrokes, and then A minor. And that's the second part of that. Now play a little bit of Spot the Difference there. Can you see? We finish the phrase with 2 bars of E minor at the start of the chorus, and then as we go into the next part, it goes to that G again. Again, very, very, very similar to this part here. Sorry, I know I'm changing my slides quite a lot. I'm getting a bit muddled up with where I am. So the chorus and the intro are more or less identical. So at this point, looking at the PDF, we've done the intro just fine. We've done the verse just fine. The chorus is the same as the verse. Following that, you're going to play another verse and another chorus. There's no need looking that on screen. Go get the PDF. It won't cost you anything to go get it. And then we hit the bridge. Now, the bridge, I'll take you through the tabs in a bit. I'll teach you how to play that shortly, but let's learn about the chords underneath it. So the chords underneath it look like this. Now, you know how I said we were going to do the down, down, up strumming pattern for more or less everything apart from 2 bits? Well, the F to G was the first bit, and this is the second bit. So what we're going to do here, I'd like you, if you can, I'm going to take this light down just a little bit over here because it's making my camera go a little bit wonky. There we go, that's better. So we're going to play each of these chords, but we're only going to play them once. We're going to strum each of them once and then hold it for 4 beats. If you've taken part in the theory course, we talk about all this in there. Go check that out if you're unsure. So you're going to go A, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G. Then we're going to go to C. Now, when he goes to that C chord, the lyric is, that was just a dream. That was just a dream. That's me in the corner. So you see how it goes from A minor to G, fairly run-of-the-mill, but then the tonality of the whole song changes quite drastically, going from that C to that A minor. Pause that and get that under your fingers for me. If we're fairly comfortable with that, this is the last of the song. Now, the third verse I've kind of squashed into it plays an extra time round. So you see how at the top of the verse we've got repeat markers come up again, E minor to A minor to E minor. We're going to repeat that line 3 times. And the only reason that I've done that is just to save us going on to a 4th page of the PDF. So that verse is just the same as you've played the previous 3, but it's just laid out ever so slightly differently. Then going into the chorus, we've got a double chorus. So we're gonna repeat that line starting F major 7 on bar 74. Again, there's nothing new here, it's just how many times you play it. You're going to play that line 3 times before graduating to the bottom and fourth row that we've got here on the screen. Now, when you get to the ending, I'm looking bottom left now, you've got F major 7, F, G, A, G, and then we're going to hit a big A minor. I'll show you that over there. We're going to hit a big A minor like that. And that's where the... Now, we'll cover that in the lead portion in a second, but all I want you to do... If you're playing rhythm, I just want you to hit a big, tasty A minor chord there and just let it all kind of peter out for me, okay? So that takes you to the... That's essentially all the rhythm part. The first 3 pages of the PDF... we've gone through there. It's basically 3 bits that cycle round and round and round. Now, if you want to have a go at the lead bits, which we're going to look at in a second, I'd really advise that you strum through the song using the first 3 pages of the PDF to begin with, because that's the basis that hang all these little licks on. So, let's have a look at the lead. Moving on to the lead parts, I want you to just be mindful of where we've come from so far. The way that I approach the lead parts in this song is an extension of the rhythm parts. Now, if I was to play this as the only guitarist on the gig, I would predominantly play the chords that we've just talked about, but then sort of try and get some of those tasty licks, try and get some of those in where we can. So what this is going to involve is it's kind of taking one hat off and putting another one on, taking your lead guitar hat off and putting your lead guitar hat on, and kind of chopping and changing, playing rhythm and lead sort of interchangeably. And this song's a great exercise to sort of, as a little sneak peek into that world. So the format for the song is identical. We're just looking at tabs instead, okay? So you see how we've still got the F major 7. Now, if you look at the chart that we've just come from, the rhythm guitar chart, you'll see it says lead in and there's nothing to play. Well, this is what I'd like you to play if you're inclined to do the lead. So it's all based around a D sus2 chord shape. So I've got 2nd fret on the G, 3rd fret on the B, and I'm going to pick the 3rd fret of the D, 3rd fret of the B, followed by an open high E, and then I'm going to come back to that note that I've just picked on the 3rd fret, followed by this 2nd fret of the G string here. Da, 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 da. And picking wise, I'm going down, up, up, up. I might put a downstroke on the end of that actually. It's not particularly important as long as you're kind of coming back up. So once you've got that, I'd like you to immediately after you've played that 2nd fret, break out of that shape and go straight into F major 7 and do the down, down, up, up, down. Pause the video and have a go at that. There's nothing new in this bar that we haven't covered already in the rhythm part. Now, when we're coming out of that, we're going to do the 2 downstrokes. You know, when we go from the F, G, in the rhythm parts, well, over that G chord, we're going to play that lick again. So you play the lick, down, down, up, up, down, 2 downstrokes on the same chord, followed by the lick again. Which then takes us to A minor. You see how on that A minor, we're gonna stick on that A minor for 2 beats, followed by the lick again. F major 7, 2 beats of the same chord, and the lick again. And then as we go into, don't worry, we're going to piece all this together in a second. We go A minor, and where the band go to a G, we're going to play this lick. Let's learn this lick and then we'll tie it all together and we can spend quite a bit of time there, okay? Don't think I'm racing ahead. So I've got this C note here on the 1st fret of the B string. I'm then going to play this D note on the 3rd fret of the same string with the ring finger, and then I'm going to take this 3rd finger and I'm going to go all the way up to the 5th fret. That's going to put me in prime position to go to the high E string, where I'm going to play the 3rd fret with the index finger, 5th fret with the ring finger, and then I can work my way back down. 3rd fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret. It's a bit of a kind of, because it's done on mandolin, it feels a lot. I've played this on mandolin as well, and it feels a little bit easier under the fingers there. This is quite awkward for guitar, actually, having to come up on that B string. You could play that open string, but you'd still have to come up to catch the A anyway. So I sort of think go diagonally rather than in an L shape. So before we glue it all together, let's just get this A minor with the down, down, up, up, down, followed by the lick. It's a really good lick it's a really good exercise to practice between the two. So that's what the whole intro looks like. Let me play you it all and then we'll talk you through it. From the very top, sounds like this. And from that point, you should be straight into your verse. I think the lyric is, ooh, life is bigger. Okay? So you see how we got top left, we've got the lick, followed by a bar and a half of F major 7. The lick again. A minor, 6 beats of. Lick again. F major 7. Bottom line. A minor, and then you break out of it. Pause the video and get that under your fingers. This just like it does with the rhythm part. This doubles up as your chorus as well, which we'll tackle when we get there. If you're feeling fairly confident with that, we're going to go into a verse. Now, the verse is nothing really much to write home about. There's a lot of information on this page, but actually, once you figure it out, it's a lot of the same thing again and again and again, and it's just the way that I've notated it with the chords as well. So can you see how we're still doing the down, down, up, 2 bars of A minor, 2 bars of E minor, does it again, bottom left. And we carry on, A minor, top left, E minor. And just like we do with the rhythm part, we're going to go D minor. And then we're going to do 1 bar of G. And that lick comes back again. Now, what's really interesting here is we're going to repeat the verse twice like we normally do. But if we have a look at the bottom left of the screen right now, those are what we call alternate endings. So the repeat marker tells us that we're to repeat it 2 times by the fact that it doesn't tell us to do anything apart from repeat. Now, the second to last bar, 1st, 3rd and 5th fret on the B string, the one that starts there. Can you see above it there's a 1 in a bracket? Yeah? Bottom line down here. Now, on the first time that you repeat this section, that's how I'd like you to finish it. So then you go back up to the top and repeat the verse just like you normally would. Upon doing it for the second time, I want you to forfeit the bar with the... and replace it with bottom right, 2 bars of... two beats of G. And that lick from the beginning comes back in. Now, what that does is that will enable you to then... It's sort of a link that takes you into the chorus. Have another look at that for me, please. Where are we? There we are. So on the first repeat, I want you to do the second to last bar. On the final repeat, I'd like you to play the very last bar. But in doing so, you're gonna omit the previous one. Okay. So that's your verse. Now your chorus is more or less. Well, I'm getting mixed up with my slides. There we go. Right. So that's your chorus. It's more or less what we're doing in the intro, but it's just a couple of bars less. 6 beats of F major 7 with the lick, A minor, F, F, G with downstrokes, A minor. Now, from that point, essentially we've got intro, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. As I said previously when we were looking at the rhythm parts to this lesson, there's nothing new in that second verse or second chorus. We're just repeating exactly what we've done. It's notated in the PDF, mind, so that's all good. We're then getting into the bridge. Now, the bridge for the rhythm players is where we play one chord and hold it for 4 beats. We're going to play this. So what does that look like? Looks like that. So what you've got on the screen now, we're going to repeat 3 times. So I'm with my ring finger, I'm going to play the 12th fret, and I'm going to play 3 notes going down, up, down. You're going to want to do 4 here. Please don't. Do 3. I'm then going to take my index finger and press the 10th fret. That's a D note, is that? And I'm going to play the remaining 5 notes of the bar alternate picking. Can you see how there's a group of 3 and a group of 5, which make up the 8 beats? The 8 quavers that are in the bar. Might sound really basic, but just try that a few times first. I'm then going to do a position shift. Now, I'm going to do all of this with my index finger. You'll see me on the playthrough for the Academy, where I'll just move that down. And that's because I'm thinking, really, my ring finger wants to be on that 12th fret because it's the highest point that we're going to play. And then I'm just walking down it this way. Okay? So you see how we've got a group of 3, group of 5. Group of 3, group of 5. Repeat markers, we're going to play this 3 times. Now, on the 4th repeat, 4th time round, I should say, not the 4th repeat. You've done 3 repeats and then you get to this point. We're going to play the first bar identical. And then we're going to play this lick before, but we're going to play it. It's quite far. It's quite a long way to go down there. So I'm going to play it up here. Now that's a pentatonic scale. That's 3rd position of the A minor pentatonic scale. So I've got 10th fret and 12th fret with index and ring finger on the D string. I'm then going to use index and ring again, but I'm going to sort of shimmy down to the 9th fret of the G, 12th fret with the ring. I'm then going to catch this 10th fret up here, this A note, what we call a root note, on the B string, and then work my way back down. Now, Academy members will see a lesson that accompanies this, the technical focus lesson, where we're going to talk about playing things in different octaves and kind of being able to sort of go to a completely different area of the neck and play something immediately. And we're going to kind of scratch that idea a little bit in that. Pause the video and get that under your fingers. That's the bridge. Then following that, as we go into the ending, now I couldn't get all my slides onto my deck, so that's why I've missed the final chorus. The final chorus you'll see on the PDF, which you can go ahead and download. There's nothing new there. The 3rd chorus is the same as the prior 2. It's just ever so slightly longer. There's a repeat marker in it, but other than that, there's nothing really to write home about. Okay. Upon finishing the final chorus, you're going to go into that was just a dream, just a dream, just a dream, and there's this part here, where we're going to play this 12th fret of the high E. Now, this isn't necessarily difficult to play. It's difficult to concentrate so that you don't lose your place, okay? Can you see we're playing quavers on the 12th fret of the high E string? And we're going to play that for 6 bars in total. We're repeating these 2 bars 3 times. And we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to do that for 6 bars. Upon entering the 7th bar, we're going to go to the bottom left. The bottom left bar is just the same. So it's a 7th bar of what we've done already. And then we're going to walk down the pentatonic scale. So we've got 12th fret, 10th fret of the high E, 13th to 10th of the B. We do a bit of pentatonic sequencing, come back to the 10th fret of the high E, 13 and 10 on the B, and then repeat it. Now that does what's called a RAL, where it'll go. It don't go. It'll go. Put a bit of vibrato on the end of that if you want. Now, what that means is, the way I describe a RAL, can you imagine a train pulling into the station, okay? It doesn't sort of go from 50, 60 miles an hour and just stop. It has to slow down on approach. And that's what that song's doing. Is kind of, we're coming to the end and it sort of comes to a gradual kind of stop. That lick, I want you to use as an opportunity to do that. So where do you go from here? If you're a member of the Academy, I'd check out the technical focus lesson on playing those different bits in different octaves, because that's a really good exercise. If you're on acoustic guitar, just have a really good strum through it. It's a great tune to play, and it's a good excuse to get plenty of D minors and F major 7s in there, which is really good practice. For the electric guys, really the learning in that is taking your lead guitar hat off and putting your rhythm guitar hat on and chopping and changing between the two. I really like R.E.M. There's some really good study. They're great songs for starters, but they're a good study as well for lots of different kinds of techniques in guitar playing. Is there any R.E.M. ones I haven't covered that you'd like me to check out? Let me know in the description down below. I'll see you next week for another electric guitar lesson. Thank you so much.